Here's some striking news. Christina shares this. Thank you for sharing this with us, Christina. Nurses at Desert Regional Medical Center, High Desert Medical Center, plan to strike on September 20th. That's coming up. So what's going on here? Registered nurses at Desert Regional Medical Center in Palm Springs and High Desert Medical Center in Joshua Tree plan to strike on September 20th to urge hospital management for better working conditions. And at least their strikes will have beautiful scenery. They're going to have some beautiful scenery. You know, if ever I was going to go cover a strike, that's one I want to go cover. You know, I try to cover strikes when I can. It's not like I never do it. But, you know, I don't always get to show up to every strike. The musician strikes in Illinois was really cool. I couldn't show up to that. You know, I didn't have any tour dates in Illinois at the time. But, man, I wouldn't mind making that trip. I got to go. I got to go cover the strike in Joshua Tree. I'm just going to happen to visit a couple hot springs, maybe get a massage. But my phone will be on. I'll be like, yeah, they're striking. I'll tune in later. We're just going to live stream the whole experience. I'm not really going to do that. The one-day strike was announced Tuesday after the California Nurses Association and management and tenant, the parent company of the two households, failed to resolve ongoing labor disputes. By law, the union had to give the hospitals a 10-day notice of the planned strike. So this is the wheels are in motion here. They're following protocol and they're saying we're going on strike. At the bargaining table, nurses are asking for a better contract proposal in order to retain and attract experienced nurses. The contract proposal needs to address salary and benefit needs, but also issues such as fair breaks, meals, and on-call hours, said nurses under the union. You know what? If there's one, you know, the best thing we can want from our nurses, we want them to be tired. That's what we want. Our nurses who maintain people's health, who are the first line of offense when something goes wrong. When something goes wrong in a hospital and you have an emergency, who shows up first? A nurse. And they need to know how to act really quickly. They need to know what to do. They need to know, you know, one time I was in the hospital once in high school. I had a very, very bad case of mono, and it caused my lungs to pretty much swell up. So I needed an IV to get liquids because I couldn't maintain any fluids. You know, one night my IV kind of just got wrestled out of place. Basically, you know, I was tossing and turning. My IV kind of went away, right? Like my IV kind of went out of my arm. I'm getting squeamish talking about this because I don't like blood. All right, but anyway, my IV went out and there was blood squirting. I woke up and I looked like something out of a movie with blood just firing out of my arm. Who showed up first? The nurse. She knew exactly what to do. She's trained for this. She fixed it up, put the IV back in. She's like, "You're fine. It just wrestled out. You know, try to be careful about your tossing and turning. I get it. You were asleep." And then she said, "Hey, no need to call the doctor. He's fine. It's no problem." And that was the end of it. But anyway, my point is, nurses, they need to know how to react. You want them to have adequate break time so they can recharge. You want them to be fed. You want them to have time to have a meal so they can have energy. And you want them to be treated right. They deserve decent wages. They deserve to make a good living because they work very hard and they work long hours and they work various shifts. And sometimes they don't always know their shifts immediately. They got to kind of wait on it. So they got to put their lives on hold, essentially. It's a very demanding job. And the fact that a hospital is not meeting their needs, which seem very reasonable. We need to talk about our wages, make sure they're where they need to be. We need to have adequate benefits. We work in health. We want adequate benefits. And we want to have reasonable break times so that we can be efficient at our jobs because we need to make very crucial decisions at very crucial times. And if we don't have adequate time to recharge, well, that's compromised. So good for these nurses. And I hope they get everything they want, bar none. I hope they get absolutely everything. And I'll be going to Joshua Tree. In fact, I'm going to start a GoFundMe. I should do that. Guys, GoFundMe for me to go to Joshua Tree. I promise I will be covering the strike. I will happen to be getting a massage while I'm talking about what I saw at the strike. And I will happen to be sitting in some hot springs while I'm covering the strike. But, you know, if you could please contribute to that GoFundMe. I'm only looking to raise $20,000. It's all for work. It's all for work. And of course, I'm kidding in case anyone is taking this seriously and they think I'm being for real. And they're like, I'm never supporting you again. You're just looking to raise money so you can go take a vacation in Joshua Tree. Not being serious. It's not a real GoFundMe. Okay, cool. All right, good for the nurses. I hope they get everything they want, period. And we'll be covering this. It's going to happen on September 20th unless they reach an agreement before that. So we'll be covering this.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your